back to the Daily Grind. Thanks for checking out the channel. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back pickle biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
Daniel Cormier's heavyweight teammate, Cain Velasquez, former UFC champion, has issued a very interesting statement on Daniel Cormier fighting Stipe Miocic for the heavyweight belt. Now, this is interesting because Cain Velasquez is former UFC champion who has been plagued by injuries in his career, but he was looking to make a comeback in 2018 and reclaim his belt. The problem is Daniel Cormier, the current light heavyweight champion, is his teammate, and now the UFC has booked a light heavyweight champion versus heavyweight champion super fight. Well, Daniel Cormier will be moving up to heavyweight to take on Stipe Miocic and try and win a second title. Now, if Daniel Cormier was to win that title, it would make things interesting because his teammate Cain Velasquez is also looking to hold that title. So how can Cain Velasquez win the heavyweight title if it's being held by his teammate Daniel Cormier? Would they have to fight even though they're like brothers, or would some other shenanigans happen? Well, the answer is some other shenanigans would happen. I don't see Cain Velasquez and Daniel Cormier fighting, even though Cain Velasquez's tweet might suggest otherwise. This is what Cain Velasquez had to say on Twitter. Like always, I'm going to be in the gym every day to help my brother Daniel Cormier become the next heavyweight champion at UFC 226. Once he wins, things could get interesting because he's coming back for that title. He also put hashtag gonna get my belt back, hashtag and nude, hashtag we are AKA. Now this is also, there's added elements to this because Daniel Cormier and Cain Velasquez's teammate Luke Rockhold has also recently left their gym. It's actually a permanent switch. It's looking like, as he said, Cain Velasquez and Daniel Cormier are sort of on the way out of the door in their UFC careers, and Khabib Nurmagomedov, he's also kind of inactive at some times of the year. So Luke Rockhold doesn't really have consistent training partners throughout the year, and he feels like he's in his prime, and he doesn't really want to, waste his time as far as, and it's not wasting his time, but he doesn't want to waste too much time waiting on teammates to get healthy. He'd rather go somewhere where there's a stable of quality training partners, and so Luke Rockhold has moved down to, looks like, to be with the Black Zillions, with Henry Hooft, because he was training with Volkan Ozdemir and those guys. And now I'm just going to talk about that real quick on this video because I don't want to do a whole separate video, but Luke Rockhold has responded to the fact that he left AKA and said, look, it is what I just said, it's hard for, these guys have more consistent training partners, and I'm trying to take my career further. Daniel Cormier and Cain Velasquez, Cain's either injured, Daniel Cormier's only got like a year left. Khabib, he didn't say Khabib's too small, but Khabib is a lightweight, so even though he would help Luke Rockhold in training some, Daniel Cormier and Cain Velasquez would probably help a lot more, and Khabib Nurmagomedov is also inactive at times himself, so Luke Rockhold had to make the move. But back to Daniel Cormier fighting Stipe Miocic. It's going to be a great fight as far as Daniel Cormier was undefeated at heavyweight when he first came to the UFC. He was 13-0 at heavyweight. The only reason Daniel Cormier moved down to light heavyweight, where he eventually became the champion and only lost to fucking one person in his career named John Jones, and that was arguably a dirty John Jones who's been popped for a steroid violation since then. So Daniel Cormier moved down to light heavyweight because he did not want to fight his teammate Cain Velasquez. And that's interesting because it's like now it's Daniel Cormier again's got the opportunity to fight for a title. But now I feel like it's Daniel Cormier's time. I feel like if Cain Velasquez, because this is what Coach Javier Mendez had to say at the bottom about the situation, how it could happen, because it's a sticky situation. Both Cain Velasquez, we all know, wants his belt back, but Daniel Cormier is talented enough. He's already got the light heavyweight belt, and he's a former heavyweight. So when Daniel Cormier, this is why I say it's Daniel Cormier's time, because he moved down when he had an opportunity to fight for the heavyweight title in the past. He moved down to give Cain Velasquez his shine. Now that Cain Velasquez has been injured, and as much as we all want to see Cain Velasquez back fighting healthy and see Cain Velasquez versus potentially Stipe Miocic or Cain Velasquez versus anybody, as much as we want to see that, I think as a brother, as a teammate, it is time to give Daniel Cormier this opportunity. He doesn't have much longer left. If Cain Velasquez does come back, he can fight at the end of the year. It gives him more time to recover, maybe even get a potential tune-up fight, as a lot of people didn't see Cain Velasquez fighting for the title immediately upon return anyway, since he's been so injured. You know, what if he goes into a training camp to fight the heavyweight champion? Huge fight, a lot of marketing put into Cain's return, and he gets injured. So it makes a little sense for Cain Velasquez maybe to get a tune-up fight. And if he wasn't going to be back until late 2018 anyway, you definitely got to let Daniel Cormier take this opportunity. It's going to be on a huge card. Daniel Cormier said he's going to retire before March of next year. So Daniel Cormier's only got maybe 3 fights left. Also, this is going to be, they're going to be coaching the Ultimate Fighter. So super big opportunity for Daniel Cormier. And I would only expect Cain Velasquez as a teammate to let Daniel Cormier get a crack at the heavyweight title, as Daniel Cormier sacrificed a lot for his teammates. He sacrificed a lot. Daniel Cormier makes those sacrifices, man. He's a super good teammate, super good dude, but you have to think about it. Daniel Cormier moved down to light heavyweight for Cain Velasquez, essentially. So now that, you know, everything's came back full circle, it's time for Cain Velasquez to finally let Daniel Cormier get that heavyweight shot he might have deserved a long time ago. So this is a dope situation, man, for both of these guys, because if Daniel Cormier were to win and become the champion, it doesn't necessarily mean they have to fight. Daniel Cormier will have 2 belts. He can move down and defend his light heavyweight belt and vacate the heavyweight belt, you know, and let Cain Velasquez fight somebody else, maybe Stipe Miocic, for the belt. And with that being said, you know, whoever wins that belt, some people might say, oh yeah, but you never beat DC, but by that time DC might fuck around and be retired. So there's a lot of things that can happen, but we'll wait till we, you know, cross that path. Daniel Cormier would have to beat Stipe Miocic for even this to really even be like, oh shit, what's about to happen? But that's going to be a tough task for Daniel Cormier, as Stipe Miocic is the current heavyweight champion, who's just broke the record for UFC heavyweight title defenses at 3 when he defeated Francis Ngannou at UFC 220. So with that being said, it is what it is. Cain Velasquez has reacted to Daniel Cormier fighting Stipe Miocic for his old belt, the UFC heavyweight title. With that being said, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. I'm out.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking DOG.